So 2013, I came down with what we thought was just the flu, kind of started getting stomach sick. And so this became a daily thing where I was nauseous, in a lot of pain, vomiting, passing a lot of blood, vomiting blood. There was a period of time where I would have to wake up 2 hours before my alarm to take medication just so that I could actually get out of bed. At the roughest point of the disease, I'd lost 40 pounds.
So I work in healthcare. I'm a PA, physician assistant. I work in emergency medicine. I've been doing that for 8 years, and it was difficult as the years went on, realizing that I could help my patients, but I couldn't help my husband. I don't know, I think that was the hard part, just watching him kind of go through something that I couldn't fix.
We'd spent so much time getting so many different opinions and diagnoses almost from different people that at some point I just felt like maybe it was just all in my head. And I even asked the doctor that question. I said, I can handle it. Just tell me, am I making this up? Is this in my head? And that's kind of when we started seeing a new doctor here in town, an environmentalist, and he diagnosed me with a rare form of MS that resides in the gut. I think the darkest moment came when Amanda and I were thinking about other people that we've prayed for, that we'd seen healing and restoration for, and it wasn't coming for us. And just going, God, what is the purpose of this? Why would you want somebody who's serving you to suffer this much? Brandon Lake, one of the worship leaders at the church, and a dear friend of mine, he kind of pulled me aside and said, hey man, I know you're struggling, but I just feel like I got to tell you the Lord is going to use your story, and he's going to use it soon. So just hang in there if that gives you any hope. So this is the 25th of March. I was playing that weekend at church. Lance Gatch was playing that weekend with me, and he said he has a friend in Nashville named Joshua Silverberg.
So Micah came home and was like, Lance told me about this guy that has some healing prayers, something, we should talk about it. And I remember both of us kind of sarcastically chuckling, like, I guess you could get healed over the phone. What else do we have to lose at this point? Like, sure, let's try.
So Tuesday, March 27th, I see that I have a call from Josh. So I answered the phone, and I had obviously never met him. This is my first time ever speaking to him. I don't really know anything about him. So we start talking, and he finally gets kind of to the place where he starts praying for me. And the only way I can describe the feeling is just like there was this like electricity that was kind of pumping through my body, I felt like, as he started to pray for me. He said, Jesus, give Micah back everything that Satan has taken from him. And in that moment, it was like a lightning bolt that just broke.
His countenance changed, like his shoulders were heavy, his eyes were heavy, and I remember instantly seeing that come off.
I jumped into the air with this energy sitting right here. And he said, what are you feeling? And I was like, the only thing I could say was, I feel the opposite of fatigue. Whatever that is what I feel right now. So he says, well, test it out. Go run around or something. So I get up and I'm running around my yard on the phone with this guy that I just, don't know at all, screaming like a crazy person. And he's doing the same. He's in Nashville running around his yard, screaming, freaking out. And in that moment, I was completely healed and completely released. We'd been on the phone for about an hour, and he says, hey, I'm really sorry, I have to go. He was asked to speak that night at his church on healing. He was like, well, hey, if you want, you can watch this service online. We log in, watch the service, and not only do I get healed, but within an hour, Josh shared my testimony that night, and there were people in the room that were healed through it. It's crazy to think that something that we had accepted as normal, this sickness just became, okay, this is part of our story now. This is our burden to bear, the thorn in my side. The Holy Spirit changed it in a second over the phone with a stranger.
If he had gotten healed gradually over a couple months, I would have been able to chalk it up to some kind of treatment or medicine or whatever that we had been on. But because it happened like in an instant before my eyes, I knew it had to be Jesus. Like I didn't have any way to argue it or to not believe what had happened. We learned how to pray without getting answers for a long time too, which I think is something really painful that I would never have admitted before, but there were many years of no answers to those prayers. But now we got one.
So this year, I do have the honor of getting to play with Needtobreathe again. Love playing with them, but it's a whole different experience because I actually get to fully enjoy it. Not having to fight through just to get to the show, just to do my job, but actually I get to spend time with people and build relationships and really enjoy each moment for what it is, which is so different than last year, and it's such a gift.